guys, so today I'm making some truffles for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to show you how I use fractions to help me make them. Alright, so the most important ingredient in my truffles is going to be the chocolate. So I'm going to use chocolate to make something called a ganache, which is like the soft, creamy chocolatey part in the middle of my truffles. Now, if we look at my recipe that I have here, my recipe calls for 10 ounces of dark chocolate. Now, I know that this chocolate bar that I have here is 2 ounces of dark chocolate. So this chocolate bar is 2/10 of the chocolate that I'm gonna need to make this recipe. So now, I'm gonna give you time to think, tell me through the screen, how many of these bars of chocolate do I need? Did you say 5? Well, you're correct. Luckily, I have 4 other of these bars of chocolate right here, 5 total. And these all together make 10 ounces of chocolate, so that's gonna be what I need to make this recipe. All right, now, chop. There we go, 10 ounces of chopped chocolate. All right, my question for you is, if I take one little chunk like this, what fraction of all the chocolate do you think that one little chunk is? I have no idea what the answer is, but put your guesses in the comments below. Now that the chocolate is chopped, it's time to start making my cream mixture. And so that's gonna be added to the chocolate later to finish our ganache. So first up, if we look at our recipe, we have to include 2/3 cups of cream. Now, I'm gonna use my fancy measuring cups that I have here. But I have a problem, which is that I don't have a 2/3 cup measuring cup. I have 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, and 1. So what should I do? Yes, you're right. I should use the 1/3 cup. And what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to add 2 1/3 cups. If I add 2 1/3 cups, that will add up to 2/3 of a cup. So let's do that. Open my cream. All right, you guys are gonna help count with me, okay? All right, we got 1. We'll add that in. Ooh. And 2. Perfect. All right, that's it for the cream. Let's see what's up next on our recipe. All right, so we look here. A 1/4 cup of jam. So I want my truffles to be a little bit fruit flavored. And since this is Valentine's Day, I decided I would go for a red fruit, like raspberry. So I have here some raspberry jam. There's even some French on it, bonne maman. And so I'm going to have to add a 1/4 cup of that. Now that's easy because I have this 1/4 cup measuring cup. So all I have to do is just add 1 of these. So let's do that. So I've got my jam here, and I'm gonna use this spoon to help me measure out a 1/4 cup. Let's make sure you guys can see that. My jam here, 1/4 cup. All right, now I'm gonna spoon out a 1/4 cup into my measuring cup. All right, and I should say, if you guys are doing this at home, if you want to do this as well, you can choose any jam. It does not have to be raspberry. All right, almost at the top there. You guys can see. All right, perfect, that looks good. All right, now we're gonna dump this in with the cream. Get it all out of there. Okay, perfect. Now, our last step in our cream mixture is, check the recipe to see. We're gonna have to add 6 tablespoons of butter. All right, now we don't measure butter with these measuring cups. These are in cups, we need tablespoons. Now, what you guys might do is you might have a stick, and this would be a standard American stick of butter, would have 8 tablespoons. And so you would have to measure out 6/8 of that stick of butter and cut that off and use that. I happen to have these 2 random chunks of butter. You guys can see, if we look at the measurements written on the side, each one of these little bits of butter has 3 tablespoons in it. So I'm gonna be wanting to use 2 of these to get to my full amount of 6 tablespoons of butter. So let me add those in there real quick. 1 and second one. All right, there we go. Next up, I'm gonna use something called a double boiler to melt my cream mixture. So what I've got here is a pan with just a little bit of water in the bottom, maybe about an inch of water. And I'm going to basically put another pan on top of that with my cream mixture in it to melt all the butter and all that stuff in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn on the stove to heat the water in the bottom of my double boiler, just like that. We'll wait till it's simmering and then we'll start to melt the cream mixture on top. All right, so now that my water is simmering, I'm going to put my cream mixture on top and we're gonna stir this around a little bit and wait for it to melt. All right, so my cream and jam and butter mixture is all melted now. It is a nice Valentine's pinkish color, and that means that it is time to add the chocolate. So my sous chef is going to add the chocolate. All right, ready? All 10 ounces going in here. And then we are going to, again, wait for the chocolate to melt. All right, now our ganache is all mixed together. Our chocolate is mixed in with the cream mixture and it's all melted. So what we have to do now is we have to let this cool in some kind of other container. I like to use a bag, but any number of things will work. So we're gonna just transfer this into a bag to let it cool. All right, I've got my bag of ganache right here, so I'm gonna put this in the fridge. And I'm gonna leave it in there for at least 2 to 3 hours, but maybe a bit longer, who knows. Okay, so I am back about 3 hours later, and I'm going to start taking my ganache, which is now cold and solid in a block, and rolling it into little balls that I'm then gonna coat in this pink sugar. Now, I could really have coated it in anything. Something more traditional would have been cocoa powder, but I wanted my truffles to be more Valentine's-y, and so that's why I'm doing the pink sugar. Okay, I am here with my finished truffles. We have exactly 50 of them after my sous chef and I each ate one, but we're gonna pretend that we only made 50. And I do have one final math question for you guys. So, if you remember back to the beginning, I used 10 ounces of chocolate, and what that ended up making was 50 truffles. So, how many ounces of chocolate are in each truffle? Give you a minute to think. The answer is 1/5 of an ounce. All right, I will put the recipe down below, and that's it for today.